Folks found out when we're 17, we don't know what we'll be, and it was all so free, cause it's all good till we grow complacent. Staying the same has made me impatient. I'm guilty and too tired of not being better, but oh how I wish I were. Don't tell me now, that's just the way it is. Another recipients of unoriginal sin handed down from the years we've wasted playing this game. We all feel the same, we all lose this way again and again and again. We're guilty and too tired of not being better, but oh how we wish we were. Don't tell us now, that's just the way it is. Don't make it so easy. Try to find the light you know you wanna be. We'll all change the world someday. Just don't forget what we're fighting for. I caught your eyes the moment the light died. How can you feel right? Never know glory. I know it's hard to not feel the blame. Don't play along, don't quote the old ways. We've gotta be honest with ourselves. Don't tell me not now, you'll never again. That's a lie that won't hold for too long. You can't let go. You're guilty and too tired of not being better, but oh how you wish you were. Don't tell me now, that's just the way it is. Don't make it so easy. Try to find the light you know you wanna be. We'll all change the world someday. Just don't forget what we're fighting for. We're guilty and too tired of not being better, but oh how we wish we were. Don't tell me now, that's just the way it is. Don't make it so easy. Try to find the light you know you wanna be. We'll all change the world someday. Just don't forget why we're fighting. Don't make it so easy. Break down, there's gotta be a better way than this. We'll all change the world someday. Just don't forget why we're fighting. We'll save the world someday. Just don't forget what we're fighting for.
Asked her if she'd stay a while. She said that's really not my style. I might be here for tonight, but baby I'll be gone in the morning light. Take me away to my favorite place where I don't have to grow up and stay this young forever. Baby, can you play this game? So are you too busy growing up to be something you don't wanna be? Give it
Can you hear me, Susan? Can you hear me, Susan? Can you hear me, Susan?
Hello?
Hello. Oh, my speakers are still on. That's why I'm getting an echo.
Oh, you're very quiet.
I don't know why. Everything should be working.
I'm gonna turn mine up. How's my volume to you on Skype?
Just fine.
It's just fine? Okay.
Yeah.
How's my volume to you on Skype?
Just fine. What on earth? Oh.
Gosh, it's
I'm
taken
getting
the
lots.
Uru launcher quite a while to log me in.
Same for me.
Update.
Although I'm doing it on another computer. But I need to mute the stream window here. I'm just getting echoes from several different places, and I'm trying to track them all down. I have to log into Uru on a different computer because the version of the game I'm going to be running the stream from can't run at the same time as Uru Live does. What am I doing? Oh yeah. There we go. This thing still hasn't launched me in. Has the game let you in yet?
Oh my gosh, your bug looks huge.
That's one I whip out just for these tours because it's a running joke.
But yeah, I can still barely hear you.
I'm trying to move my microphone a bit closer.
My Uru launcher is still updating. I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee myself
Okay.
while you fix your volume.
Well, I don't know what I could fix. It.
Now we are going to be meeting in Cavern Tours Hood, correct? And just sitting there
Yes.
together.
That's correct.
So I'll be monitoring chat both in Mula and in
Yeah.
Twitch.
I'm gonna,
All
like I
right.
said, I'm gonna have my game window on a separate computer, so keeping track of 3 screens at once is gonna be a pain in the backside.
Oh yeah. Just like the Wizard of Oz, pulling those levers, creating that smoke.
Where is the volume on this stupid program?
Where's your shirt?
Oh, I'm wearing the black T-shirt because I'm trying, as usual, I'm trying to match my clothing to what the avatar is going to be wearing.
Oh, really?
So I'm not
That is
gonna.
so awesome.
So I'm not wearing the white shirt with epaulets today
Yeah.
because my avatar in the cavern isn't going to be.
Oh my gosh, okay. By the way, I can hear you a lot better.
I found out what the problem was. I had for Skype my microphone selection was set to one that's on my headset, and that's about around the back of my head.
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. So you were literally talking out of the back of your head. All right, I'm finally logging in the moolah, and my coffee's brewing.
Yep.
I do not see anyone else in. Oh, somebody's just logged in. Why, Bonk? Cookie Blast. What does Cookie Blast mean?
I'm trying to run my copy of Live on a Linux machine over here, and it's starting up the game, but I'm getting to the transfer screen to actually get to my avatar, and that's just sitting there spinning.
The Wheel of Death.
Yep. And I don't have any other Windows machines here with me at the moment. They're all at the office.
Yeah, there was quite a long update that Guru went to for me.
I think they did some bug fixes. I had just I had logged in to the game earlier, and I just saw Evonk's chat for the stream.
Oh, cookies.
Yeah. Anyway, I had logged into the game on my main computer, and that worked just fine. When I logged out, I didn't get a stack error.
Okay.
So that may be one of the things that massive update was doing. Because if you remember, for several months now, when you would shut down the game, you get a massive list of stack errors after it shut down.
Call stack error?
Yeah. And that's well, it didn't happen just now, or when I shut that down my game a little while ago. Yeah, if this computer doesn't start the game, the actual game up, and I just have this wheel here, I'm going to be completely blind to chat in the cavern. Well, I suppose I could always try starting it up on my note-taking computer, but even then I'd have to switch windows quite a bit.
Well, there are 4 of us here in the hood. Myself, Zeke, Shiloh, and Frobaz.
Oh, hi Zeke. I assume that everyone's listening to the chat and can hear me?
I will ask them.
Or to the stream, I mean. Oh wow. The stream is showing 12 people logged in.
Good.
Oh wow. The stream is showing 12 people logged in. Okay, why did my mute turn itself off? Shut up, Larry. I don't need to hear you. Yeah, that copy on Linux just is not starting. I'm gonna go ahead and give up on trying to start that one. Let's see. Do I have Vero on this computer? Of course I don't.
There are 8 of us here in the hood. People are logging in because I gave a shout out on my buddies list. Yeah, Yvonk says here she's trying to log in as well. Ro is saying that he's no longer getting the stack error because he uninstalled Moolah and reinstalled it with the new client from the Cyan website.
That was a problem. But I wasn't getting it. I had not reinstalled it. So I think that they've got a fix for it now. Okay.
Shiloh's suggesting you run this in Linux, but didn't you just say you're trying to run it in Linux?
Yeah, I tried running it on my Linux computer, and it just was not. I was stuck on the wheel of death. So I tried restarting it, and still that's where it would hang up. So I'll have to try reinstalling that later, but it's too late for today. I'm downloading the installer onto my note-taking or my note-reading computer. So we'll see if I can get that going in anytime soon. If not, I'll be completely blind to what's going on in the hood.
Oh dear.
Oh, did everyone see the the Cavern Tour T-shirts in the closet?
Are you serious? I thought
that's why I'm wearing. That's why I'm wearing this black T-shirt. It's gonna it doesn't have the logo on it, but it matches up with the with the Cavern Tour T-shirt my avatar has. No, not at all. So, color-wise, it'll match up.
Well, I better go put it on.
Yeah, you can pick the color of the T-shirt you want. Kitty Renee is saying, your hair grew, Larry, showing off the lovely white and gray. Say it. As of 2 days ago, I gained the ability to sing Paul McCartney's When I'm 64 without it being a prediction.
I'm going to get my T-shirt.
I forgot to turn on my lights. Can't run a tour without being half blinded.
You don't know what I'm doing in Moolah, but I am going to my closet.
How nice a window to protect me from something I'm trying to install.
Where is the shirt? No, I don't think I want a crop top.
It's what the shirt is whatever color you want it to be. It's when I set that up, I made sure that you could pick and choose your own color.
Is it only available in a short sleeve, or?
Yeah, I only make the one. The male shirt and the female shirt are different models, and I only make the one of each. Believe me, that was more than hard enough.
Why don't I see it?
You're looking for a round icon.
Well, I see the abduction icon.
It's black and gold.
Oh, I think I have to use my arrow for it.
Yes. Yeah, it's not going to be on the first page.
Okay.
There are actually several new t-shirt designs, so...
Oh my gosh, there it is. Oh, it's got the falling man in the middle of it.
Yes.
How could, with gears around it? That's so cool.
Once you put it on, turn around.
Okay. Oh my gosh, Myst Online Cavern Tours. And then in Dunny. Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, the Dunny phrase just says Cavern Tours.
Okay. Well, I better get back to the hood. Because it's 11 o'clock.
Yep.
I'll send out a last shout out. I'm not going to have to do the announcements about linking the Marabot.
Nope. I'm hoping that I will be able to join you in a couple minutes.
Okay. Kitty's asking about the shirt. Go to your closet and pick the short sleeve shirt. And then you're going to have to click the right arrow a few times as far as the choice of patterns.
Okay, she says she found it.
Okay,
And then you can use the t-shirt color box to change the color of the shirt itself to anything you like. Hi, Darlene. Nice to see you again.
Hello, Mawa.
Richard
if
and
you're not
I-
wearing this shirt, I'm going to have to kick you out of the hood. Just kidding. I wasn't wearing this shirt, so I kicked myself out. This is going to be tough. I'm going to have to be extra vigilant if I'm the only one in the hood reading text chat.
You'll be doing that for the most part anyway, because I'm not going to be able to have a separate view of the my notes and the chat in the game. I don't think. Even if this thing does get the lead out and finish installing. Decompressing sounds. It seems to be taking as long to decompress sounds as a diver has to take decompressing when he comes up from the bottom of the ocean.
So are we still waiting for you then to try to get into the hood?
Yeah, it's 12:03. I figured if I'll give this a couple minutes more.
Okay.
And see if I can log in. You're welcome, Kitty. Ivank, The abbreviation that I used for Darlene's name is Dawa, D-A-W-A, for the first two letters of her first name and last name. Okay.
Gosh, we've got quite a large group here in the hood.
Wow, 25 on the chat, or on the stream. Welcome, everyone. Sorry for the delay, but we're experiencing technical difficulties.
There's 19 of us here in the hood. And Ethan is is text chatting in Italian. I'm going to have difficulty. I think he's asking you about your coffee mug. Just kidding.
I forget where I got this, but it was a long time ago back in California. I believe this is a coffee station, or a gasoline station mug that I probably picked up somewhere or other.
It looks like one.
But as I was telling Susan earlier, we were joking for most of the season about the mug I normally use, which is black and blue, and which is actually smaller than this one. And everyone was commenting about how huge it was every time I took a sip from it. So I decided that if they wanted a huge, that if you guys wanted a huge mug, I was going to show you a huge mug. Oh. One bit of trivia. Rawa, Richard Watson, and I have been corresponding all this last week because he and I wound up by accident starting to write an Uru fanfiction story together.
Really?
I don't know that it will ever see the light of day because I suspect that it's going to cover material that's in a non-disclosure agreement.
Oh no!
Right.
Oh dear. Yeah, you don't want to get sued.
Yeah, but
I'm an attorney. You don't want to get sued.
Right. But the point is that he's having fun with it. I'm having fun with it. So.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that what happened and why we fell into this is that we were talking about the Cavern Tours tour that I'm doing today, and the subject of the Baro came up, and and he made a comment which involved the words Baro and mice. And that inspired me to write a couple paragraphs in story format. And much to my surprise, he replied with a few paragraphs of his own. And next thing you know, we're working on the blooming thing using Google Docs.
Oh my gosh. I think you've started something.
So we'll see when we're done whether or not it's something he thinks that I can publish online. But
yeah,
don't hold your breath on that one.
I'm hearing another voice.
Kitty Renee, the reason why I would not be able to share it, even though there's no intent to make money from it, is that Cyan has the copyright on a number of things that they haven't released. and and without permission from Cyan, their employees and of course can't publish things to the general community. And the other thing is that Ra, when we started on this, he told me that I couldn't say what the content was in the game that he was saying, and of course I'm honor bound by that agreement.
Yeah. So how's your logging in doing? It's 10 minutes after 11.
Yeah. Update remaining 80 megabytes.
Okay, so no Wheel of Death?
Well, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
This is when you first start the game, and it did that very large update. Mine's doing that right now.
Yeah, I had to wait for that as well. Well, everyone in my buddies list is here.
Kitty, he did work for Cyan. I'm not quite sure of what his status is at the moment, but he developed a brain tumor, and he still has contact with Cyan. He still does certain things. To give you an example, he still maintains the Explorer Memorial. I'm not sure whether or not he's doing some of the other jobs, like keeping an eye on the lake lighting project. But he's not very active. He gets exhausted easily, for one thing. And so I'm not quite sure if he's considered retired or not. But even if he were retired, he'd still be subject to their NDAs.
Well, I see we have some new Cavern Tourists here. Welcome, Bodozo. Mike T might be new. No, he's talking about Rala.
Richard A. Watson.
Richard A. Watson?
Yeah, I'm buddy, a buddy of his to a certain extent. Which is one reason why I occasionally get previously unknown Denis words to introduce, and why I'm able to say a few things with confidence.
Only a few. Just kidding.
Hey, what can I say? I don't think I've ever said anything with 100% confidence.
Maybe that's a good thing. Well, Rand at the TM opening, TIAM. What is a TM opening?
That was a new age that was recently introduced, a fan age. And yes, Rand Miller did show up for that to see the ceremony and make a few comments.
Cool. People are asking why you still have music. Is that on purpose? I mean, I know you haven't officially started.
That's correct. It's because I haven't officially started the tour yet.
The finger quotes tour. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just everyone, if you don't know already, we're actually not going to physically go anywhere today. This is going to be an exclusive Twitch-only video tour and audio tour. But the reason we are gathered here together is so that...
to unite this man and woman in holy matrimony.
Oh gosh, please, no, Larry, no. It just wouldn't work, Larry. Just kidding.
I wasn't talking about us, for God's sake.
Oh, good. Oh, gosh.
As far as I know, you're married already, aren't you?
So, reason, of course, we're gathered here in the hood is so that I, and hopefully also Larry, can monitor your questions in text chat here in Moolah. And of course, as usual, you can also create an account on Twitch and type your questions and comments also in the chat screen. Stream chat in Twitch.
Okay. And hey, I am going into Nexus now.
I can hear the... Did you all know, fun fact, and please let me know if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that, I think it was Robin Miller said he's the one who made the linking sound for the original Myst game. With his
on that one.
Huh? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's true. He voiced it with his voice. The what is that? Okay, Rose saying yes, Robin made that linking sound. But I think the linking sounds in the subsequent Myst games were a little different, if I recall correctly.
And hello, everyone. I am here.
Woohoo! And Larry is modeling. Spin for us, Larry. Larry and I are modeling the new Cavern Tours t-shirts that Larry designed. They're short sleeve shirts, see?
Yep. That is the official Cavern Tour logo, which previously only people on Facebook were able to see. That's in the center of the chest here. So, and if you look at the back of the shirt, it says Myst Online or Live Cavern Tours, so that you know what to search for. And just below that, in Dini, it says Galpo Linshotavti, which is Dini for Cavern Tours. Or Galpa, excuse me. Galpo is cave, Galpa is cavern.
And you designed this.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
And designed and put together the models that were eventually imported into the game. And these are available in a Relto closet near you. As one of the options. Yeah, with the option of color being entirely yours.
Okay. Well, I already made my announcement that we're not doing a physical tour, and it'll all be by Twitch. So with that said, is there anyone here who is not listening and watching Twitch TV right now? In which case you can't hear me.
Correct. I was about to say that. Let's see. Let me go down here because I need to adjust the color real quick. Gamma.
Okay, Kong is saying he isn't. Kong, you will need that. Well, why am I talking to Kong? He can't hear me. I'm sorry we're starting late today. Larry the computer repairman was having technical difficulties.
Well, what can I say? It was a Linux computer. It doesn't say the game wasn't really designed to run on Linux.
So Kong, I think pretty soon, who's a newcomer, welcome. Mm-hmm. Welcome Kong, everybody. Is going to be accessing Twitch pretty soon.
And once we are certain that he will, I think we'll begin.
Okay.
By the way, the stream background today is, since it's absolutely no mystery whatsoever that we're going to be covering some of the Myst 5 ages today, that was some of the concept art for the age of Direbo.
Oh, by the way, Happy New Year, everybody.
Also, to everyone who is here for the tour, on January 6th is my birthday. I turned 64. And you guys are pretty much my birthday party.
Well, I would spare you by not singing happy birthday to you. That might kill you.
I would appreciate that.
So, congratulations.
Just like trying to hold up a cake with 64 candle on it would probably kill me. Ro, I mentioned earlier that I can now sing that song and have it not be a prediction.
I'm following up with Kong to see if he's in Twitch.
And while I'm doing that, let's...
Kong was saying it says, unless I've got a time machine, I can't access that channel.
Say
what is that?
I've never heard that before. The only thing I can think of is maybe his system clock is wrong. Oh, Shiloh, you guys are plenty. Say, I'm just hoping to have a little bit of fun with you.
Kitty says she'll be 60. She no longer celebrates. Oh, but she quit smoking. Awesome.
Kitty, you are 25 years old with experience.
Well, you know, Kong should be able to access it. Okay. Oh, he typed in the wrong
address. Okay.
Address, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's begin.
Yeah. So let's see. I need to bring this up to the top. I'll be with you shortly.
Did you turn off the music?
Yeah. What on earth is the game not showing in this window? It's above the stream background.
I hear water. Is that?
That's my that's me logged into Uro. I haven't turned off the sound on that window. So you're hearing the computer speakers. Yeah. Let me take care of that real quick.
I've always thought that the fountain in here is a little bit too loud.
Oh, it definitely can interfere with people hearing things. Let's see.
And by the way, Are Larry's and my volumes okay?
There we go. That's off. And that's off. And that's off.
I still hear
And then-
water still.
Now, why on earth? That should have. That should have done it. Hang on a sec. Let me check again. Audio settings. Oh, freaking sound effects kicked all the way back up to the top. Okay, there we go. It is quiet. Okay. Now, let's see. The next technical difficulty is that I am not seeing my game. So let's try that again. Game capture. RCC.
Remember, the AGM is after us.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully this will do well enough. Okay. And now I'm going to have to... Oh, I need to window this. Okay. Graphics. Where's the windowed? There we go. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to see the game chat at the until I go back and look at it because I can't see anything here. So let's see. I need to, and I forgot to move out of my freaking Relto and go to where we're starting.
Yeah, I've just confirmed from the Gomies Keymail that the AGM is going to be at 1300
Right.
today.
Yeah.
After the tour.
Okay. Yeah, they had agreed to move it to then, and I'm glad they remembered that, because I didn't want to conflict with them. Anyway, what we're going to be doing today is covering material until we run out of time.
Well, I'm going to sit down and get comfortable.
Oh, how nice of you. I didn't know you were standing at attention for my birthday.
Well, you know, you might just drop dead at any moment. You're so old. Just kidding. I'm 62 and a half.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, I joked a bit about that with Rawa and told him that, can you answer a couple questions for me before my name ends up on the Explorer Memorial?
Oh, Ro is saying you got his application for ARP.
Okay. Oops. Come on, you.
Well, the reason we're not having a physical tour today is we're done with all the physical tours. From between January 2020 and December 2021, we did our 24 tours, which covered each and every age that is here in Mula. So until or unless we start that 24-month cycle over again, Larry has some filler material for us.
And also, these ages that we're going to be covering today are not in live, at least not yet. There are plans to import them, but that's a project that's in the works. So maybe next year we'll be able to do a walking tour. We just can't now. Welcome to the inside of the volcano. And here we have a lovely dagger, courtesy of Riven. Because when Riven broke apart and the star fissure engulfed everything that was in the area around it, one of the warks wound up, and Gen's telescope fell on the slopes of the volcano in the cleft. But the dagger that was that was on that same island, wound up falling inside the volcano. Here, let me adjust this a bit so that you can see it better. There we go. So if you ever wonder what became of that, it's here on Earth. The volcano, of course, is located in the Zandi property in New Mexico. The volcano here appears to be dormant rather than extinct. It hasn't erupted in thousands of years, but just how long it's been quiet is not known for certain. What we do know is that it still has active fumaroles, which are to say steam vents, which, here we go, there's one right next to me. And there's another one over there. Those fumaroles actually played a bit of a part in the story of Atreus, because of course he grew up in the cleft, and when he was 14 in AD 1769, he conducted an experiment while trying to provide electricity to the cleft. He tried capping one of these fumaroles with a steam-powered generator and attached a battery to the generator that he planned to use to run electric lights. The experiment ended in failure because he miscalculated the tolerances of the generator and not enough steam was allowed to escape. The trapped steam pressure was strong enough to cause a massive explosion that blasted a hole through the ground and down into a small cave a few yards below the surface. And we can see that hole. Right over here. That cave opened into, that he blasted a hole into, also broke a wall into a corridor that the Denis had excavated at the top of the great shaft, and this was a much closer entrance to the cleft than the one Anna had discovered long before. So when Gen returned to collect Atreus and take him down to Denis, this was the entrance that they both used to get there, so that they didn't have to travel all the way back to Anna's entrance, which was the only one Gin had known about before this. Inside the volcano, there are a number of Baro petroglyphs on the rocks. Let's see, where are they? Where? Okay, here's one. I forget where the sequence starts, but let's go ahead and change my view. Oops. Okay, here we go. And as it turns out, this is... When a Baro was freed by an explorer completing the Path of the Hand, it joined a colony that lived in the Great Shaft and other locations in the Denis Caverns. Many were seen in Kavir when Dr. Watson began his quest for the tablet that bound them to Denis. In the caldera, there are a number of petroglyphs that were made by those freed Denis. They illustrate some of the story of Yisha's life and important events that led up to her birth. This is not the first stone. Let's see if I can figure out where that one is.
Are you in Myst 5 End of Ages right now, or are you in Deep
This
Island?
is actually... No, I'm not in Deep Island. This is actually a standalone copy of the game. I'm in this because I can do things here that I can't do if I were in Deep Island. Okay. This is the first image. And where did my notes go? Okay, here we go. Around the year 1773, Atris and Catherine trapped Gin and Riven and escaped by jumping into the Starfisher. This glyph shows Atris and Catherine, the Starfisher, and the chamber that Gin built around the Lincoln Point of Riven's descriptive book in order to catch Atris should he ever link there. Or whoever linked there, for that matter. He had caught Catherine when she tried to link into the age by having this, and he was hoping that her presence would lure Atris here. Okay. Now is this that stone back there? Yes. Okay. This stone here has two glyphs on it. The bottom one represents the early life of the of Atris' family on Myst Island, sometime around the year 1777. The large figures are, from left to right, Atris, Catherine, and Tiana. The two smaller figures are Akinar and Cirrus, who were both born on the island. There is uninterpreted Baro writing above the mountain peak. To my knowledge, no serious attempts to decipher Baro letters and symbols have been made because there isn't any kind of a Rosetta Stone for the Baro language that would give us a starting point. When Tiana had been taught some of the basics of writing ages by her Denis husband, Atris the Elder, she had no formal training. Atris was a member of the Guild of Surveyors, so it's unknown how he learned the art. Their son, Gin, had been enrolled in the Guild of Books as a child, but only received a year or two of basic education by the time Denis fell, and never learned the art from either his father or mother. The early days on Myst were happy ones for the family, but that time came to an end all too soon. Atris and Catherine were both taught the art by Tiana and Gin, which meant that their teachers were both people who had no formal training of their own. This was a period of experimentation for the entire family, since they had to figure out how to write by trial and error. Because of that, they were able to accomplish feats of writing that the Denis wouldn't have believed, because they didn't have any preconceived notions about what could be done. On the other hand, it also meant that they had no knowledge of the rules and methods the Denis Guild of Writers were taught to keep the ages safe. And they had no knowledge of the methods used by the Guild of Maintainers to test an age for danger. The glyph on the top of the stone represents Atris and Catherine's later life on Myst Island with their sons, Cirrus and Achenar. And that was after most of the construction was done and Tiana had passed away. And that was the time when the family began falling apart. The fact that Atris and Catherine were untrained in the art was never so obvious as when it led to the tragedy that left deep scars on the family. And it changed their lives for the worse. Catherine wrote an age whose name she never spoke again, and Tiana visited it. While there, Tiana contracted a disease that caused her to fall into a slow decline and eventually resulted in her death in 1785. The loss of Tiana left Atris so grief-stricken that he threw himself into his work as a distraction and neglected his sons. Catherine was also devastated that her work had cost Tiana her life and never wrote another age again. She also left the boys more or less to their own devices. Achenar and Cirrus were about 11 and 8 years old respectively when Tiana died, and they began going on unsupervised trips to the ages Atris had written. One day, Cirrus asked Achenar to go sailing with him in a small boat in the mechanical age. What Achenar didn't know was that Cirrus was deliberately taking them into waters that were controlled by a pirate clan called the Pirates of the Black Ships. They were captured, and Cirrus managed to sweet-talk the pirate chieftain into adopting them. They lived with the pirates for a time before Atris finally tracked them down, and living among the pirates gave Cirrus a craving for domination and wealth. Achenar, on the other hand, developed a taste for hunting and killing.
May I ask a quick question?
Sure.
One of our tourists is asking if today's tour of Myst 5 will include any spoilers, because he hasn't played Myst 5 yet.
I'm not going to be discussing gameplay at all. So how you solve things and the overall story is not something I'm going to be touching on. And also, we're only going to have the time to cover a few of the ages.
Okay, thank you.
So now let's see, which one is this? But if when he walks into the story, if anything, knowing what these stones actually mean is not going to hurt him. If I am, now there is a possibility at some points that I'm going to be playing some of the speeches from the game. So I'll try to remember to warn him to turn down the sound when I play those. and then I'll make a signal. I'll give a signal on camera that it's okay for him to come back, basically by making the OK sign. The next glyph that we have here represents the time when Atris attempted to rebuild Denis. This was covered in the Book of Denis. He had decided to try to find Denis survivors of the fall and enlisted natives of the Age of Averone to assist him. Together, they were able to find a large number of Denis who were living in private ages. Knowing that the plague had killed off so many, was gone, they returned to the caverns and collected the bodies of the victims for burial, and then started to rebuild the city. That proved unsuccessful, probably because the damage was too severe from earthquakes that had occurred since the fall. On October 14th of 1812, Atris decided to abandon the restoration of Denis and find a new home for their people to live in. When searching for bodies, they had broken into the tomb of the great king and found the Book of Tyranny. Linking to that age, they found that the Rhone civilization was not only still there, it was alive and thriving. They made contact and began planning for the Denis to rejoin their ancestral brethren. The Tyranny were enthusiastic about being contacted by missing Rhone descendants and welcomed the newcomers. That plan came to an end when Atris and the Denis representatives with him discovered the truth behind Tyranny's utopic lifestyle. It was based on a form of slavery that horrified Atris's group. The people of Tyranny had come to regard anyone not of Rhone descent as being subhuman and only worthy to be the labor class of their society. For the Denis, whose culture abhorred slavery and taught that a citizen should work for his own prosperity, for them this was intolerable. This is a fact, by the way, that escapes or confuses many modern explorers who take Yisha's words at face value. She implies that the Denis approved of slavery and openly abused the Baro. The reality is that the knowledge of the Baro was probably very uncommon among the Denis and is certainly not mentioned in any of the records we have access to. We don't know what the Baro did in Denis or why they were bound to it in the first place. The only thing we know for certain is that they were not imprisoned in either Teledan or Garrison, as Yisha claims, because a DRC confirmed that they had not been there. In any case, that the fact that the Denis could not tolerate slavery and the Tyranny based their entire culture on it could have caused severe friction and perhaps even fighting. But before any real conflict could arise between them, a plague swept through Tyranny and caused the deaths of most of the Rhone living there. It was learned that the Denis were carriers of diseases from their own history that the Tyranny had no defense against. The slaves of Tyranny revolted against those that survived and broke the control of the Rhone people on that world for once and for all. They would go on to form a new society which they call Devokan, which basically means hope. Atris and the Denis who were with him returned to Earth, where Atris decided that the only real solution for Denis was to write a new age where they could go to live in peace. That was the inception of Relishan. When Atris announced the plan to the Denis survivors the next day, it was met with unanimous and enthusiastic support. So Atris began working up design notes for Lishan on April 4th of 1813 and began writing the age on the 21st of that month. See, this should be the next stone. Yep. The glyph on the top of this stone represents the birth of Yisha in Tomana in the year 1815. Around that time, Atris finished writing Relishan. The Denis began moving in and construction of a new city, this time on the surface of the world where they could live in the sunshine. The glyph below it represents the events of the 1820s, when Yisha learned of her two brothers still being alive in prison ages. She decided to visit them and learn more about them. Cyrus had found out he had a sister in 1820 when he first started learning to make bombs out of the crystals of Spire, a process he completed 4 years later when he tricked Atris into sending him a sample of Nara and learned the sonic frequency needed to destroy it. When Yisha first met Cyrus in 1822, he immediately began a campaign of deception about his true character just on general principles. It was the next year, 1823, when he thought up his plan to steal her body and trick their father into teaching him how to write ages. Okay, next stone is over there, I think. Yes, this is it. After the death of Cyrus and Achenar, and when Yisha was old enough, she left Tomana to live alone in the cleft. She was on a journey of self-discovery, as her mind was still damaged from Cyrus' attempt to remove her consciousness from her body. Cyrus had planned to trap Yisha's mind in the dreamy age of Serenia, and then masquerade as her long enough to learn the art. After which he planned to kill Atris and Catherine. Okay, and let's see. Where is the next stone? Is that over here? Yes, it is. It's going to be kind of hard to see without falling in the hole.
If anyone has any questions for Larry, go ahead and type your question either in the text chat in Moolah or in the stream chat in Twitch.
Okay, I want this one here. I think. Okay. When Yisha decided to travel to Denis, while exploring Agra Island, she crossed paths with Callum, a surviving master of the Guild of Writers. He recognized a talented pupil when he saw one and took her as his apprentice. But after an initially rocky start because Callum's resistance to Yisha's wild ideas that she had picked up from her father and mother, he came to accept her approach and helped her create a fusion of traditional Denis techniques and her stretching of the boundaries of the art. When Yisha first apprenticed to Callum, she wondered if he was the grower who had been predicted in Words, a book of prophecy written by a man called the Watcher. Callum, for his part, began to wonder if she was going to be the grower. After Callum was murdered and Yisha defeated his killer, she found the Baro and began to add their methods to her style. That was the time frame when she began to believe that she was the grower. And let's see. Oops. So let's back up here.
Was Yisha the grower?
I talked about that in a character study about her a while back. The answer to that is that you have to decide for yourself, because there was a list of signs of who the grower was, and she managed to fill a few of them, ignored others, and some are inconclusive. So there's just as much left undone as there is done. So
Very interesting.
yeah, my own opinion about it is that the grower was a myth, and
Ooh.
that a great many people wasted their lives trying to fit all these criteria that the Watcher had written in that book.
Well, if anyone who's listening has his or her own opinion, feel free to type it in chat.
But the point is that that's my opinion and mine alone. People should be. I encourage people to look at the copy of Words that they will find in the Watcher's pub, and make their own decisions. But one sign that I will that comes to the top of my mind that I know that was not fulfilled. Okay, hang on a sec. My mother needs to pick up the phone.
No, that's Yusha calling you. She's angry.
I am the grower.
It's angry Yusha calling you.
Anyway, the book describes a set of characters, one of which is the desert bird, which is the nickname that Isha's father gave to her, presumably because he had read Words himself and kind of wanted her to be the grower. And it talks about, later on it refers to Yisha, or whoever if you believe that she's the one prophesied in Words, as the daughter, and says that the daughter of the daughter would do something. Except, of course, that Yisha never had children. Okay, anyway. Yisha met the Baro, of course, and after learning to communicate with them, decided that they needed to be freed. This was to become her life's work, and it defined who she was right up until Dr. Watson finally accomplished what she couldn't. At first, she created a plan that freed one Baro at a time, and I believe that might be represented in the glyph that you see on the left side of that the image that I'm showing you at the moment, or this stone. However, each of the Baro called an individual explorer to Denis in a process that was given the Denis name Zanni, a portmanteau of the words Xander, meaning gravity, and Denis. She and her assistant, Jeff Zandy. Oh, by the way, that word Zandy is Z short A N D N, and then the Denis long E sound. Anyway, Zandy guided the people who arrived to the path of into the path of the hand, which was a quest nicknamed because of the spiral hand symbol that was woven into the journey cloths for it. Every time an explorer completed the quest, the Baru who had called him or her was freed from the influence of the tablet that bound them to Denis. However, many explorers became disillusioned after finishing the Path of the Hand, feeling that Yisha had used them and then cut them loose with no purpose for being in the cavern any longer. Her influence and teachings also caused rifts in the DRC, who were not part of the plan and who simply wanted to rebuild Denis and make it safe for people to visit and live in. The board members were at wits' end because of the backbiting and infighting caused by some of their contractors' sympathy with Yisha's stated philosophies, and because of the influx of people with no affiliation to the DRC. That greatly increased the possibility of accidental injuries and deaths. It also drained their finances because they felt that they had to help take care of the people who came to the cavern, whether they were interlopers or not, and who didn't exactly come with a supermarket in tow. And the final glyph that we see, which I believe is yes, that was this one over here. The final glyph represents the time when Yisha was concentrating on the secret of the stone tablet. The second person in the glyph is her nemesis, Escher. Escher was a Denis survivor who also thought that, actually at this point, I believe we had a person here who has not played the game.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I'm about to say something about one of the characters in the game, so you might want to turn down your sound until I give you the OK signal on the camera. Which, if you could see the camera, would probably be helpful. So let me get my... There we go. I should be visible in the corner of that screen now.
Yep.
Okay. So, last warning, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler, so you'll want, if you haven't played Myst 5, you'll want to turn this down. Anyway, Escher was a Denis survivor who also thought that he was the grower mentioned in the prophecy, and who also wanted to claim the tablet. Both Yisha and Escher failed the test that it had to be passed to be accepted as the tablet's master. They also learned that one could only undertake the quest once. Thus, both began to assist explorers who also stumbled across the quest, while each tried to sway the explorer into doing what they wanted. That battle ended when Dr. Richard A. Watson gained control of the tablet and decided to give it to the Baru instead of either Yisha or Escher. And that concludes the spoiler. We are now going to talk a little bit about the plants and animals. Here in the...
So as we're playing Myst 5, we're really Richard A. Watson?
Technically, yes.
Yeah, we're not the stranger. We're Richard A. Watson.
Correct.
Interesting.
Which of course, was a bit of a misplay on Cyan's part, I think. Because later in the game, there is a reference to the stranger. When somebody is speaking with Watson, and if the stranger was a woman, then I don't. It's doubtful that that character would have made that mistake, because the character thought that Richard Watson was the stranger.
Interesting.
Anyway, as you can see, we have a mix of the usual desert grasses here in the caldera. A few plants growing on the... I've seen those before in other ages, but I don't recognize off the top of my head what they are. The green leafy plants. And then we have what look like a few... oh goodness, plants are not exactly my strong suit. But as I was mentioning, we have a number of desert plants here that got in the cleft, or I should say the caldera itself. And then I need to adjust the camera here for a moment. If we look, remember the hawks that are circling around the volcano when you're in the cleft? There you go. There's one of them now. And there's the other one.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of crossover between the two.
Well, it should be. It's the same volcano.
Yeah, exactly. But there was the same stuff was used in both to a degree. And someone asked if there were any fish in the water, and I responded no.
No, that water's a bit too still and brackish for fish to live in. In fact, if you look carefully, you'll see bubbles rising from it. That's not a good sign for anything wanting to live in that. Now, something else that you will see the little butterfly over here? Oops, if I can get him in frame. Her, it. That little butterfly there, and there's at least one more in here somewhere. Let's see if I can get closer so you can get a look at it. That butterfly is essentially the same as the one that you find in Kadish's vault, except that the ones there have red wings instead of purple. And actually they have both butterflies in frame, but they're so small you may not be able to notice it. And then somewhere around here, if I can find them, no. Oh, there is. No, that's the butterfly. Okay. Okay, I can't seem to find them at the moment. That may be the fault of this version of the game. But flying around... Oh, was that one that just passed right in front of my nose? somewhere around here, there is a cloud of insects. And if you ever go back to Myst 5 at some point, there they are. You little hard to find little buggers. I don't know how well you can see these. But if the way they're moving looks like the fireflies in, oh, I'm right smack in the, got my head in the middle of them. Okay.
Oh, I can see them on Twitch.
Yeah. Now, those are fireflies. And they aren't quite the same as the ones that you find in Chemo, but they move in a cloud the same way. And those particular fireflies do not seem to, unlike the ones in Chemo, do seem to only turn their light. Oh, there they are again. Only seem to turn their lights on when they want to, rather than being on all the time like they are in Chemo. And so that's one little tie-in that you will find across almost all of the places that are touched by Denis, which is wherever you go, for the most, very often there's going to be a firefly of some sort there. And the volcano is no exception. There is now, these fireflies are also found in the age of Direbo, and so is are the butterflies. So there is a suspicion that both of them came to the volcano by way of Direbo. I won't be covering the Great Shaft today because we've already done a very thorough tour of it this season. So at this point, I'm just going to be going in here. And I just passed through the small cave that I mentioned earlier, and you can see some of the rubble from the that was caused when the steam explosion broke the hole, not only from the ground down into that little cave, but also when it blew open this hole. But we're going to be using this as our gateway to the next stage that we will be talking about, and that's Direbo. How are we doing on time, by the way?
It's 12:13 p.m., so we've got about 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
But there are a few things that I have to say. And by the way, speak of the devil, I said that we found those butterflies could be found in Direbo, and there's one to greet us. Okay. There are a few other things that I can say about the age that I did not mention before when I was doing the tour of it earlier. So I've got, that's why we're revisiting it. Direbo, of course, is a garden age, if you like your gardens dim and swampy. And it is quiet and soothing here. Direbo's age means wheel in the Denis language. And you can get some idea of why they might have called it that by looking at the arrangement of the islands. There are 4 islands with water channels separating them, and they are set in a depression that is filled with water as well. So that means that we have 4 islands with water going between them in a cross shape, more or less, and which are surrounded by water. So if you imagine the water as being the wheel, and the channels between the islands as the spokes, that might explain the name of the age. And before I get to really rolling on this one, by the way, did I miss any questions about the volcano?
No,
Okay. In that case, I'll continue. Not much is known about Direbo's history. It doesn't have the cookie-cutter fountains found in in the ages that were written during the garden binge of Denis' 82nd century, nor are there seating nooks and gazebos like are found in other ages. Other than the bridges, there are no man-made furnishings at all. Even Escher didn't tell us anything useful. Because Denis shut down the expedition to the surface soon after the great shaft was constructed, there are no linking books left in it. The books to Direbo were most likely placed in the great shaft by Yisha after she modified this age for her tablet quest. Geographically, the age is composed of a marshy pond surrounded by dry land, with 4 small islands forming a rough square in the middle of the pond. Arched bridges with gates on either end connect the islands as pairs. The feature most readily noticed is that the area around the pond is dominated by towering stone spires. And some of them go up quite some distance, and they're all uneven in height. Okay.
it's kind of like the stone version of Kadish with the purple sky.
And I mentioned that you could find the fireflies from upstairs in here. Although I'll point out this one, which is a solitary firefly. That one, that type of firefly can be found in quite a few other ages, and that includes the residential neighborhoods. They usually like to fly around light sources. If we go across the bridge, we should be able to find fireflies on one of these islands. Here we go. And here are the fireflies that we saw up the surface, which, now that they're down here in dimmer light, are lit up. But these are the same fireflies. And then I already mentioned the butterflies being down here. There's a, somewhere around here, there is a dragonfly, which is actually quite peculiar. I always forget which island it's on, but it's going to be somewhere around this position by one of the bridges. So let's explore a little bit and see if we can find it. Ah, here it is. By the way, the fact that it's holding still is because of this version of the game that I'm in. Normally it would not be, but it's kind of stuck here because this is a hacked version of the game. So, you'll notice for one thing that it has 4 very short wings. I call it a dragonfly because of its abdomen, but in reality it's probably not an earth insect at all. Notable features that show it isn't like surface insects include the way that its head is fused to the thorax like a spider. It also has only a pair of eyes, which are set high on the head and are a light lavender gray in color. Let's see if we can get a better view of so that you can see. There we go. You can see them there. And another notable feature is that unlike earth insects, it only has 4 legs instead of 6. Direbo is home to at least one species of bird, which the Denis Zoological Society says is a variety of nightjar based on the sound it makes. However, the bird is extremely shy, and no one has ever reported actually seeing one. Direbo has the usual kinds of grass that you'll see on many ages, which I believe has been thought of as a version of panic grass. But the most notable plant to be found here are these peculiar mushroom-like plants, with which have twisted and spiraling stems. They range in height between a few feet tall to more than 15 feet, and appear to grow in a spiraling twist, although some have bends in their stalks. The water in the pond itself has algae, especially in the channels. Let's see. In fact, if we go over here, we can see it. And one of the features of the age that was introduced by the Denis are these floating lanterns that are in the water channels between the islands. We will head over here for a moment. If you look off in the distance in this view, you can see the far side of the pond that these islands are set inside, and the land on the other side of the water. That land over there is dry, and there don't seem to be any other ponds nearby. Direbo, by the way, is one of the ages that I know that Dubes has in testing, or development and testing. So we can expect to see a version of this in live sometime within the next couple of years, I'd imagine. Okay, let's see. Yvonne K is saying was asking about Cookie Cutter. If you go to when I was talking about the fountains, when you go to the goodness, my mind's going blank on me. Oh, any of the garden ages like Eder Chemo, Eder Zogel, Eder
Dylan.
And what was the other one?
Gira.
Eder Gura. Eder Gura is the exception. It doesn't have a fountain because it wasn't part of or wasn't as developed as the other garden ages, since they discovered intelligent people had lived there, and it was turned over to scientists rather than released as a garden age. But the other three, if you go and look at the fountains that in those ages, you will find that they are all exactly alike. In Eder Chemo and Eder Dellen, they're even set in the same type of setting. In Eder Zogel, though, the fountain itself was not put on the plaza like it was in the other two. It was put out in the middle of a pond. But if you look at the fountains themselves, the word cookie cutter does come to mind because they are all exactly the same type of fountain. Yvonne saying in the stream chat, Control plus C, Control plus V. And that's a very good description of probably what the Denis did when they were writing those fountains into those ages. They would have developed the Garo Hefti for the age and used that exact same phrase in all of them.
But when Atris wrote the ship into the stone ship age, I mean, that was a big mistake.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. That was a mistake on my part. I shouldn't have said that they were written into the age. But they would have basically all come from the same contractor and all have been the same model base. In other words, that's a better way to put it. Okay, and that is it for Direbo. It is 1:30 by my clock, or 12:30 key time, which gives us a half hour. What was the next age up on the list? Lachion. That's a long one.
Oh, Lachion is pretty, though.
Yep.
And it has an interesting sea creature.
Yep. Well, we can get started on Lachion. Although, time-wise, it would probably be better if we did Tagura, because that one I think we can finish.
And Lachion has an annoying bird, too.
Oh, that's another story. Let's see. Here he is. This is... Oh, I happen to be standing next to Lachion. But we'll have to pass that one by because we don't have the time to cover it. We'll do that we'll be doing it next week then. Or next month, I should say. Let's see, that is Todelimer, which is also one for another day because it's fairly long. Okay, that looks like Tagura up there. And I do not have my script for Tagura opened up at the moment, so let me get that.
Spoiler alert, we're going to an age in...
well, this whole tour is about Myst 5, so...
Yeah. But Leo, I think the person who was concerned about spoilers had to log out because
Okay.
Twitch was freezing on him
Okay.
constantly.
There's not anything that I would be saying, though, that would tell him how to solve any puzzles here, so that would not have been a concern. But if he's... where's my mouse cursor? Nope. I did not get it. So let's go ahead and try opening that again. Here we go. So this is the age of Tagura. Tagura is a Dani prison age. It was one of many ages that were made as a place of exile for people convicted of committing a serious crime. It was very rare for Dani courts to impose a death sentence. It wasn't even considered, except in the most extreme cases. Instead, prison ages were the normal sentence for a violent offender because they took him or her out of contact with the rest of the population without need for guards or restricting the convicted person to a cell. Just like any prison, a sentence to a prison age could be temporary or it could be for the rest of the offender's life. Prisoners were normally expected to clothe and feed themselves, which kept them from being a drain on state finances. They would be given the tools necessary to survive and then left to make their own way. Technically, any age could be a prison age. All that was necessary was to make sure that the person being linked there did not have a way back. In practice, they were mostly written to be a prison. That ensured that there wasn't a native population for the prisoner to contact and made it difficult for the prisoner to leave the age and venture out into the wider world outside it. Okay, and this is the, since that guy who hadn't played Myst 5 is no longer with us, then I should be able to play Escher's speech about this. I dropped all the stuff that had to do with gameplay from the speech, but let's see, Tagura. Okay, here we go. And the desktop audio is on, so you should be able to hear this.
Tahgira, cold, barren, desolate, it has been described. However, also purposeful. No doubt Yisha sees only evil here. This was a prison age for those who committed monstrous crimes. They were sent to this place to live out their lives. Justice, not evil. Do you not marvel at what the prisoners were able to do here with so little? Structures, food, life. As Duchni built, so they did here. These are their tombs, and as they died here, so did all of Duchni. Guilty here, but my Duchni was innocent.
Tagura was created in a polar ocean out of two large icebergs. The icebergs were tied together by means of cables. Let's see if we go over. Oops. Come on, let me over there. Here we go. Here you can see some of the web of cables that keep the two islands from drifting apart, or the icebergs. The larger of the pair of islands was probably the location of the Lincoln Point. The smaller one was the prison itself, and the surface was covered in soil to serve as a place where plants could grow. And so we have grasses, we have trees, and presumably at some point there would have been perhaps food gardens here, but I don't see any traces of those anymore. The other iceberg, which is on the other end of a bridge that also helps to connect the two, is larger than the one that the prison is part of, and also taller. But because it's entirely vertical, there was really nothing you could do there. The trees here, by the way, all have certain things in common, which is to say, they all have four trunks spreading out from the lower trunk, and those end in branches and leaves. Other than that, though, they actually do resemble a tree that is found here on Earth, which would be the baobab tree found in Africa. Let's see, do I have... Yeah, hang on just a second, I think I can bring up a picture. Okay, Tagura. Oh, I came right up on it. So this is an African baobab tree. And as you can see, there is quite a resemblance between this and the trees of Tagura. Steam vats, and we don't know what they were fueled with, were installed to provide heat for the people who were sentenced to the age. Another source of food, of course, would have been the sea that surrounds the icebergs. It's a fairly safe guess that the prisoners spent a lot of their time fishing, and they may even have had small boats that they used to go out on the surface of the water to hunt for marine animals like seals. The center of the age itself is centered around this building over here, which is shaped a little bit like a mushroom. Technically, this building has two usable stories, but there doesn't seem to be a direct way up to the second story. It's possible that there may have been a way at some point to climb up that center column, but all that's really remaining nowadays of any type of furnishings is the bench that you see here. One would assume that since warm air rises, the prisoners might have slept up in the second story of this building. We know that the people that were sentenced to this age were for life. And the reason why we know that is because they died here and were buried on another part of the island. Okay, let's go over here. The tombstones that Escher spoke of, let's see, where am I going? Must be, okay, that's the direction. Are over there on the other side of this frozen pond. Each one of these piles of stones represents a prisoner who died and was buried on this part of the island. There were at least 7 prisoners that died in this age. This implies that there were at least 8 in total, since somebody had to bury the last of the 7. It was, of course, Escher who confirmed that these are grave markers. These markers are probably not typical of what the Denis normally used on graves, though. There's a small graveyard in the age of Calamy that shows what Denis grave markers might look like more often. And that is a shape reminiscent of the Arch of Kurth. Okay, and I think I should be able to bring up a picture of that. Hold on for a second and let's find out. Okay. Yes, here we go. Didn't take long to find it at all. So this is probably what most Denis burial sites might have looked like, with family groups, and at least and the stones shaped more or less like the Arch of Kurth. And that is pretty much everything I have for Direbo. For Tagura. And it is 1:42. So yeah, this would be a good place to stop it so that everyone has a chance to get over to the other meeting.
Please forgive me because my mind was wandering. Did you discuss the bacteria?
No, I did not, because that is would be a game spoiler.
Okay.
The cat. Remember, I was not going to discuss any any game elements or how to solve them.
Okay.
Now, as for the other thing that I need to bring up now is you.
Cavern events.
Mm-hmm. Whoops.
And so go ahead, Larry. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's just there we go. And there's today's events.
Okay. And let me first mention, so you intend to go forward with a cavern tour next month, regardless whether Murphat can join us?
It's going to be the same thing that we're doing today, because I'm going to cover all of the other ages that were shown in Myst 5, including Relisha.
Fantastic. Okay, so then our next cavern tour for the continuation of Myst 5 would be Saturday, February 12th at 11 a.m. key time. Once again, we'll meet here in Cavern Tours Hood. Make sure you log into Twitch, and Larry will continue. As far as today's events, you can all see them up there on the screen. In 15 minutes is the All Guilds meeting in Corral. This is where people announce their own events, such as Minnesota often sponsors really interesting events. And people talk about the what would you call computer type changes to the game and to the shards. And what would you refer to it as? Hacking changes, programming?
Pick a name.
Okay. And then 1400 appears there's going to be a story night as usual in Sano's Hood. This is a very interesting history of Dunny that's presented by Arte.
It's not just history. He does all sorts of things, which includes covering some of the Denis myths and legends.
Yeah, and there is some overlap between what Arte does and what Larry does.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looks like 1600, there's karaoke in the new Messengers Pub. And then it looks like tonight at 23:30, Arte is going to be putting on a Baroglyph tour. I guess the second part of it, which will be very interesting. The Baroglyphs are located... Go ahead, Larry, you were going to say something?
No, I was going to say that he offers, of course, an alternative view of them to what I tell you. And it's always nice to have a different point of view.
Yeah, it always is. I remember when the two of you used to conduct the Cavern Tours together. Mm-hmm. We could get both spins. So, check these events out. We have some extremely dedicated people, including Larry, of course, who are just so devoted to the game. Arte's been doing these story things
forever.
I don't know, forever. For 64 years, just kidding, forever, and we're very lucky to have some very dedicated folks.
We do what we can to keep the game alive.
To keep the game alive, yeah. The ending has not been written.
Not if we can help it.
Yeah, not if we can help it. So anyway, we hope to see you next month. Same bat time, same bat channel. That's a reference to being, if you're in the 60s, you know what I mean. And goodbye, everybody. Go check out the AGM, the All Guilds meeting in Krill.
Okay. And that is it for the stream, since we're not going to be doing any sort of an after party. Thank you all for being here. As I said, this was having a fun time with you all was my substitute for a birthday party. And goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.